reason, whenever I see like a beautiful landscape, or I see a beautiful sunset, or I see like a building on the street and a person walking in front of it, and it just something clicks in my head, and I'm like, that's what I want to take a picture of.
This is one of Lindy Schoenberg's photos displayed at the Fisher University Union. She is a senior studying communications at UNCW. She is also a photography intern at the Star News in Wilmington, and she is the photography editor at Atlantis Magazine.
I knew I really liked art, and so I wanted to always kind of do art, but I suck at drawing and I suck at painting. I wouldn't say I suck at painting, but I don't know how to draw, so paintings aren't that good either.
Yeah.
But then I found photography, and I asked my parents, I was like, hey, can I get a camera for my birthday? They were like, yeah. And within the next year, I was like, I need a better camera. Like, this is something I'm serious about and I really like doing. And people were saying like, oh wow, like you like your pictures. So I was like, okay, I can definitely keep following through with this. And then I just did. And now here I am, an art minor in college, studying photography in a darkroom. So my style, I'd say my style is a mix of landscape and street. I guess, yeah, that's like the only, but I still do like fashion, I guess, and I do portraits, and I still do like events, like I still go places, so it's a little photojournalistic, especially with my internship at Star News. They just send me like, hey, which of these can you do this week? And then there'll be like charity events, there'll be just kind of like local events going on, like I did like a zombie walk kind of thing. I went to Fort Fisher, you know, we went to the aquarium, and you know, then I'll just take pictures there. I edit all of them, normally the same day because they all have deadlines. And then I upload them into a gallery, and then like mostly like later that night or like the next day they'll be online, and then most of my work there is done. I just have to like make captions and make sure everything's spelled right. Yeah. Different colored lights shoots, I came up with that idea a while ago, and I came up with like the name for it, True Colors. I had that idea in my mind for a while because I really liked doing the different colored lights, and I played around with it like a couple semesters ago, and I got these different light bulbs and I used it for some of my photo classes, and me and some of my friends did it just because I always liked those shoots, and I always thought it'd be interesting to do kind of like a self-reflective portrait using the lights to kind of say something about you. And so I normally tell people, I'm like, all right, what colors do you want to use? Like, when I say like what colors, like maybe they're your favorite colors, what colors do you think like describe you? Like if you had to pick two colors to like kind of represent your aura almost, like what would they be? She had the glitter idea. She was like, I want to do glitter, and I was like, that's cool, that'd be a different look. I really want to be able to see a lot, and I want to be able to travel, and I am interested in other people's cultures, and I'm interested in like how other people are living, and photography is a really good way to just document that and show that. But at the same time, I like being an artist, and I like being able to be weird, and like I want to see where my creativity can go. The prism thing is for, I'd say that's a personal photography thing I've been doing recently. And it's just like a little rectangle, and it has a bunch of mirrors inside, and you just hold it up to your lens, and it'll like, you know, you'll see the, like if I'm taking a picture of you, it'll see you, but if I move the prism in front of it, it'll get a reflection from like behind you, or from over there, or from over there. That's really cool. And so yeah, what's really fun is when like different elements from around it combine and they all work together. So that's what I've been kind of focusing on with my personal project. Trying to do a lot of like connections that like the picture makes sense because everything lines up, but then you think about it and you're like, I've seen this, or like I know that these two things don't exist. And my favorite part is that a lot of people are like, oh cool, multiple exposure, and I'm like, no, this is the original shot. Like the only thing I'm trying to edit with those specifically is just like the colors or like the lighting, because I want to keep I want to keep the authenticity of the actual shot. Like I haven't manipulated any layers, I haven't layered anything on top of each other, they're all just like pure reflections from the camera.
And that's what the prism does.
And that's what the prism does, yeah.
In Lindy's case, she's more focusing on artistic photography, and I would say that creativity is probably the most essential feature, and she certainly has that in just the way that she's looking at the world through a prism, literally. And so by using the prism and messing around with the optics of photography and how the picture is taken. I think has a creative viewpoint, and then the subject matter that she's photographing is really creative as well. There was one assignment that she did for the darkroom class that was in the library, which, you know, you could have so many boring pictures taken in the library, and just the way that she cropped it, it looks like, you know, a department store from the 1920s, or like a surrealist, you know, graphic design, or it was a really interesting way to add creativity to a really boring assignment. And she made it a really interesting photograph in a location that could be done in a not interesting way. With the prisms, just the way that she lines up what's on this one side versus what's on the other side. In fact, she was almost doing it so perfectly that you couldn't realize that there was a prism or that there was even an optical illusion. All of that work is really interesting, and I think the ones that stick out for me from that series are the more urban landscapes, where you see all sorts of variety of things from multiple different directions and you're not sure what you're looking at. Mm-hmm. So, you know, there's one on Front Street in particular that I think is really strong in the use of the prism and getting your mind confused about what you're seeing. Having success as a photographer is a lot of different things. One of them is perseverance and just continuing to make work and try new things. Lindy's work is, you can tell from one class to another that it's her work by her aesthetic, and it's almost a surrealist style. And I think it translates from one project to the next, which shows that she has real vision in her work that I think it would certainly translate to continuing on doing work.
I would love to ideally just be freelance like forever and just kind of bounce around and be like, yeah, I'll do pictures for that news thing, I also do pictures for that fashion thing, and I'll do your birthday party. Like, I'll take pictures of anything, but, you know, I mean, maybe I'll find my niche someday, but right now I like kind of exploring.